What we learnt about Solskjaer and Arteta's tactics, Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0, a tactical analysis. For cheap good quality football jerseys, go over to www.jerseyfever.com, a link will be left in the description below, and if you use the code atlantisfootball you'll get 5% off. So before I get into this analysis, just give me 40 seconds to tell you about the OneFootball app. I use this app to keep up to date with the latest football news, and I find it particularly useful during the transfer window as they have a section on the app that has all the latest done deals in the transfer window as well as the circulating rumours. If you go onto the match section, you can find statistics from pretty much any match from any league in the world, which is what I like to do for games I'm not able to watch in full, to give myself a general idea of how the game went as well as the style of both teams in the match. If you're a fan of this channel, you'll definitely find this app useful and you'll be helping to support the channel directly, so go and click the link in the description below to get the OneFootball app. So going into the game, Arteta lined up his side in a 4-2-3-1 with Leno and Go as centre-back pairing of Holding and David Luiz, with Bellerin at right back, Cedric at left back, and a midfield double pivot of Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka, with Emil Smith-Rowe playing in front of them, Martinelli starting from the left flank, Pepe starting from the right flank, and Lacazette playing as a centre forward. Solskjaer also used a 4-2-3-1 with De Gea in goal, Lindelof and Maguire the centre back pairing with Wan-Bissaka at right back, Shaw at left back, a midfield double pivot of Fred and McTominay, as Fernandes played in front of them, Pogba started from the left flank, Rashford started from the right, and Cavani played as a striker. From the start of the game, we saw that United were defending in their usual 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1 kind of shape, where they would sit high in two banks of four, with the front two allowing Arsenal centre backs to have the ball and instead preferring to cut the passing lanes into Partey and Xhaka behind them. Arsenal were using a 2-4-3-1 possession shape with Partey and Xhaka playing as a midfield double pivot, the fullbacks pushing up in line with them, as Smith-Rowe would look to take up positions between the lines, as Pepe and Martinelli, rather than drifting infield early when in the possession phase, would instead look to sit wide and stretch the United back line. When the ball would get played backwards to one of the Arsenal centre-backs, Cavani and Fernandes would use this as a chance to trigger an aggressive press, with one of them looking to press the centre-back on the ball, whilst the other would look to press the free centre-back on the other side if the ball was switched over to him, and this would act as a cue for McTominay and Fred to push up onto Partey and Xhaka. Whilst United's aggressive press was vertically compact and organised, Arsenal were actually pretty good at retaining possession and not resorting to playing long balls forward. This was largely down to Thomas Partey, who is excellent at receiving the ball with his back to goal in his defensive third and having the composure to turn out under pressure and play a pass forward to progress the play. When United had the ball, we did see Arteta's side use a similar pressing system to Solskjaer's. They'd press high up the pitch in a narrow 4-4-2 shape with Smith-Rowe and Lacazette the frontline press, with Pepe also taking up a central position depending on where he was when Arsenal lost the ball, which would then see Smith-Rowe or Lacazette drop over to the right side to cover that right midfield position. We can see here how compact the Arsenal press is, both horizontally with Pepe and Martinelli taking up central positions and also vertically with Partey and Xhaka pushing up the field, ready to apply pressure to Fred and McTominay as soon as the ball went into them. We also saw Arteta's press being very organised, as when the ball would then get shifted out to one of the United fullbacks, as it does here, Smith-Rowe would then drop deeper onto Fred to cut off this pass inside, and with Pepe moving out to press Shaw instantly, he is forced to play the pass down the line into Pogba, who is being closely marked by Bellerin. In possession, we did see United's 4-2-3-1 evolve into their usual 2-4-3-1 shape, which Solskjaer does like to use in possession, with Pogba playing on the left. United had two players in him and Fernandes sitting in the half spaces with Pogba moving in field. This also allowed Shaw to advance a lot higher up the field than Wan-Bissaka did on the right side, which saw United's 2-4-3-1 shape shift temporarily to an asymmetric 2-3-4-1 shape in the middle third, with Maguire also moving out to the left side more to carry the ball forward. When United were able to bypass Arsenal's press, Arteta's side would abandon the high press and drop into a deep narrow 4-4-2 shape with Pepe and Martinelli's positioning designed to cut the pass into Fernandes and Pogba between the lines and force United out wide. Throughout the first half, Arsenal's double pivot of Xhaka and Thomas Partey read the game very well and were aware of the movement in behind them and would therefore position themselves in order to cut off the passing lanes into them, which was effective at stopping United being able to progress the ball into the final third. In the first 20 minutes of the match, Arsenal had more of the ball, but neither side were really able to create anything of substance, and the pattern of the game consisted of Arsenal circulating possession, but were unable to really get into United's defensive third very often. From about 20 minutes onwards, United began began to retain possession better, and it was this period of the game where United looked like the better side. Arsenal looked most dangerous when Emile Smith-Rowe was able to find space in behind Fred or McTominay, or when Partey was able to burst through United's central midfield with the ball, with both allowing Arsenal to get running directly at United's backline and then look to isolate Pepe in one-on-ones in the box against Shaw. However, I did feel that Shaw defended excellently in these sorts of positions, not overcommitting and forcing Pepe to take a shot from a skewed angle. Around the 35th minute mark, McTominay came off injured, which saw Pogba move back into the midfield double pivot and Martial come onto that left flank. Going into half time, both sides had been able to press well high up the pitch, whilst also keeping a compact shape. Both had spells where they had pushed the other back whilst dominating possession, and were both poor when getting around the box, often lacking the correct or decisive decision making ability to create a chance, and this was seen at half time as Arsenal had an expected goals rate of just 0.27 and United of just 0.33, both around a 0.3 XG mark, showing just how little good chances were actually created in that first half. Throughout the second half, I think both sides continued to press and defend very well. Arteta's side, rather than falling into the trap of dropping deeper and deeper as the match went on, as they did earlier on in the season against sides like Tottenham and Liverpool, in the second half of this game, they actually pushed higher up the pitch on some occasions, which was also accompanied by a clever tactical tweak from Arteta. He instructed the left winger, which was Willian for the majority of the second half, to push higher up the pitch when United's backline had the ball. This was because in the first half, Martinelli was dropping back into the midfield line when United had the ball in their defensive third. This allowed United to play the ball wide of the front two and have Lindelof or Maguire carry the ball forward. However, with Willian now pushing higher up the pitch, this stopped United being able to progress the ball forward, and so led to them having less of the ball in the middle third, reducing the pressure on Arsenal in their own half. In the second half, United did look most threatening down their left side, and once again, like against Liverpool and in some other recent games, it was Luke Shaw who was excellent. He created the joint most key passes in the game with 3 along with Nicolas Pepe, whilst also recording the highest expected assist rate in the game with 0.75 XA. The best chance created was here as Shaw dribbled into the final third from the left flank, played a pass into Fred before recognising the space in behind Partey and making an underlapping run inside in order to receive the pass from Martial, and his low driven cross was perfect, and 9 out of 10 times Cavani would score this open goal chance and give United the lead, but in this case he knocked the ball wide. Arsenal on the other hand looked most threatening down their right side, and when they transitioned the attack quickly, this was because, as we can see here, United's midfield is stretched after a turnover. Bellerin makes a clever run in field, which is something that Arteta has been working on throughout his tenure, and this is a great example of how it should work. Bellerin finds himself in between the lines. Partey, unlike El Neni or even Xhaka, who have been the two used frequently this season in that midfield, had the ability to see and then play a pass to break the lines. Bellerin is unable to turn and move the ball forward onto Pepe, who now has Maguire exactly where he wants him, running backwards into the box in a one-on-one situation. But like a few times throughout the game, his curling shot just goes wide at the far post. I thought both managers got their pressing tactics right throughout the game, continuing to press high, whilst pushing the midfield high up the pitch as well to keep the press vertically compact. I think the area that let both sides down, in particular United, was individual output in the final third. Arsenal lacked someone capable of world-class attacking output, even if it's inconsistent, as with someone say like Rashford or Martial, who have been very inconsistent recently. They do both have this ability to produce something either to open up the opposition or take a half chance, even if they aren't performing exceptionally, which would then win you games like this. With Pepe, Martinelli, Lacazette and Smith-Rowe, Arteta has a front four who are good at doing a few different things but don't have that ability to create something out of nowhere or finish a half chance from an unlikely position, which leaves Arsenal reliant on creating a high XG in order to score goals, which is the opposite of a side like Tottenham who can rely on Heung-min Son or Kane to score goals from low XG positions. United's problem is that while they do have these types of players, at the moment everyone apart from Pogba and Luke Shaw seem to be out of form in the final third. Martial is ghosting through games and Rashford seems to have lost his clinical finishing and decision making ability, often playing the wrong pass, having a bad first touch or delaying his decision in the box, ultimately leading to the chance disappearing or being wasted. So overall, I'd say that United probably just edged Arsenal in this game, as soon as they had an expected goals rate of 1.51 to Arsenal's 0.75. However, I think a draw was a fair result, as I don't think either side did enough to win the game. What we learned from this game was that both managers have found a very organised high pressing system, which Arteta has found and improved massively over the last few weeks, ditching the 5-2-3 and moving to the 4-2-3-1 shape. Solskjaer's problems with finishing chances or creating them when they get into good positions further show why United needed to sign a world-class attacker like Sancho in the summer, as Martial and Rashford can hit purple patches and look world-class for a period, but then they can also go through as many dry patches that make you question their place in the side. Having more depth in these areas is essential if United actually want to compete for the title, rather than just flirting with the idea of a title challenge. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that video, remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out some of my other videos linked in the description below, give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and follow my other social media accounts for more content as well.